Hello everyone, welcome to FireShark. In this video, we'll be talking about certifications, basically a roadmap which we can take when we're starting out in a cybersecurity business or when we are already there but we do not know which certificates to go for next. So we'll be talking about some popular certificates that there are and which are in high demand. So starting out, cybersecurity itself is a very vast field. We have communication and network security. We have IAM, that is information and access management. We have security architecture and engineering, asset security, security and risk management, security assessment and testing, software security, security operations. So the cybersecurity field itself is divided into so many different domains. So we have to decide which one we want to start from, or if we are already into one of these, which certificates to go for next. So if you look at them, there are a lot of certifications within each field. So if you look at communication and network security, you can start with PCCET, Net Plus, CCSA, CCNA, all the way up to CCIE Security. Similarly, if you're into security operations, you can start with your CEH, that is a good certifications, and you can go up probably up to OSWE or OSCE3. Basically, you're going up higher in the specialization domain where you're really going to be fine-tuning your skills and knowledge and probably even a better salary with a better job position. So let's look at them one by one. If we were in communication and network security, so you can start with our CCSA. The CCSA, or the Checkpoint Certified Security Administrator exam, is a foundational level IT security certification with a specific focus on checkpoint hardware or software security solutions. The CCSA certification ensures that candidates have a thorough understanding of the fundamental concepts necessary to configure checkpoint security gateway and management software blades on the GIAC operating system. As the name implies, the CCSA credential is administered by the Checkpoint Software Technologies Limited, a company with over 20 years experience providing business security products such as firewalls, VPN security gateways, software and hardware solutions, etc. for businesses, consumers and service providers. The CCSA certification is the first rung on the Checkpoint certification ladder and is aimed at technical professionals who install, support or administer checkpoint software blades. Successful passing of the CCA exam demonstrates a candidate's proficiency in areas such as suitable security policies and managing user access within the enterprise. So if you get this certification, the typical job roles that you can expect are system administrators, support analysts, security managers, network engineers, and so on. If you were to look at the exams, so the exam is going to be costing about $200, and there will be 90 MCQs or multiple choice questions there, and it will be a 120 minutes exam. Location is any Pearson VUE testing facility. You can book it. You can find one near you, right? And the validity of the certificate is 2 years. So you have to renew it after 2 years. And there are no official prerequisites required to take the CCSA exam. However, the candidates are recommended to have at least 6 to 12 months hands-on experience with checkpoint products, as well as fundamental networking, TCP/IP, internet, and OS, whether it is a Windows server or a Unix knowledge. So after we've done our CCSA, we could move on. We could get a CCSE. So the CCSE is Checkpoint Certified Security Expert. So you're going a level up. You're getting more skills here. So this certification is the second rung on the checkpoint certification ladder after the introductory CCSA. It is aimed at the experienced technical professionals who have extensive experience working with checkpoint hardware and software products in a relevant job role. Successful passing the CCSE exam demonstrates a candidate's ability to, amongst other things, configure and manage checkpoint firewall solutions, manage VPNs and internet security, understand encryption techniques, and implement antivirus and content security policies within the enterprise. And now the job roles that you can expect from CCSE would include network administrator, network security engineer, network support, security administrator, firewall administrator, engineer, security analyst. Now the prerequisites for this are they must successfully pass the CCA exam first. So you have to pass the first exam, that is CCSA, before being allowed to take the CCSE exam. So the exam is similar to the previous one. You have 90 MCQs, you have a $200 fee, you have 120 minutes to do it, and the validity is also 2 years. Next on the ladder, we have PCNSE. So this is a different vendor. So the Palo Alto Networks Certified Network Security Engineer certification verifies that a person is capable of designing, deploying, configuring, maintaining, and troubleshooting the majority of Palo Alto Networks security operating platform implementations. The PCNSE is a expert level certification that validates your knowledge of the security operating platform, ensuring you can make use of its full functionality to benefit your company and showcase your expertise. Now, the job roles from this certification would be information technology consultant, network security engineer, network engineer, application support and analyst, technical consultant, and technical analyst. And for the prerequisites, we have candidates should have 3 to 5 years experience at least working in the network or security industry, and the equivalent of 6 to 12 months experience deploying and configuring Palo Alto Networks new generation firewalls within the Palo Alto Network security operating platform. The exam fee for this certification is $175, and the exam will have 75 questions, and the duration will be 80 minutes. And again, the certification validity is for 2 years, so you'll have to renew it after 2 years. Next on the ladder, we have CCIE Security. So the Cisco Certified Internet Expert Security Certification, that is CCIE Security, is Cisco's premier networking and security credential designed to demonstrate a candidate's expert level knowledge in implementing, configuring, maintaining, and troubleshooting complex Cisco network security solutions for the enterprise. It is one of the numerous specialist CCIE tracks that candidates can choose from. The CCIE Security credential is aimed at experienced network professionals who wish to demonstrate advanced networking knowledge with a specific focus on network security. So this is quite a popular expert level certification you can get. And the typical job roles will include network security engineer or manager, security test analyst, senior engineer security operations, senior network administrator, network consulting engineer, or a network architect, amongst others. The exam is divided into a practical and a theory portion. So the exam fees is $400 for the theory part, $1,600 for the practical part. Number of questions for theory part will be about 90 to 110, and the duration of this exam will be 120 minutes. While the practical exam will be 8 hours long, and you will be given specific tasks to complete within that time period. There are no formal prerequisites required to take the CCIE exam. However, the process is not for the faint-hearted. It is therefore recommended that the candidates should not only have at least 3 to 5 years of appropriate job experience before attempting to earn this credential, but also be prepared to invest significant time and money into the certification process. Next, we can move on to the next domain, which is security architecture and engineering. So when we get to this domain, we can start with Google PCSE, which is the Professional Cloud Security Engineer. So the GCP, that is Google Cloud Platform, PCSE certification is all about security, specifically Google's cloud security features and offerings. Since the GCP PCSE is a professional level certification, the required exam covers a wide range of security topics and technologies. This certification is suitable for all security analysts, engineers, and architects who implement and design secure infrastructures on the Google Cloud Platform. The cloud security engineer should be proficient in all aspects of cloud security, including identity and access management, defining organizational structure and policies, using Google technologies to provide data protection, configuring network security defenses, collecting and analyzing Google Cloud logs, managing incident responses, and demonstrating an understanding of the application of dynamic regulatory considerations. Typical job roles for Google PCSE might include designing infrastructure and driving its implementation to protect Google networks and systems, providing security expertise and guidance to a diverse set of Google engineering and business teams, conducting security reviews of core corporate and production infrastructure, driving enterprise-focused security improvements to Google products and services, building security tools and processes using Python or Go for critical infrastructure protection, monitoring, and remediation. While there are no prerequisites to take this exam, but Google recommends that the candidate must have at least 3 or more years of industry experience. The experience includes 1 or more years of designing and managing solutions using Google Cloud, and a strong IT background is an essential must-have to comprehend and understand these topics fully. Talking about the exam, so the exam will be costing about $200 with about 50 questions which are MCQs. Duration will be 120 minutes, and the exam can be online, that is a proctored exam, or offline at certain exam centers which you can book or locate using their website. Next on the ladder, we have AWS CSS, which is Amazon Web Services Certified Security Specialty. It is intended for individuals who perform security role and have at least 2 years of hands-on experience securing AWS workloads. Before you take this exam, they recommend that you have about 5 years of IT security experience in designing and implementing security solutions and at least 2 years of hands-on experience in securing AWS workloads. Next, working knowledge of AWS security services and features of services to provide a secure production environment and an understanding of security operations and risks. Knowledge of the AWS shared responsibility model and its application, security controls for workloads on AWS, logging and monitoring strategies, cloud security threat models, patch management and security automation, ways to enhance AWS security services with third-party tools and services, and disaster recovery controls including BCP and backups, encryption, access control, and data retention. Understanding of specialized data classifications and AWS data protection mechanisms, data encryption methods, and AWS mechanisms to implement them, and secure internet protocols and AWS mechanisms to implement them. Ability to make trade-off decisions with regard to cost, security, and deployment complexity to meet a set of application requirements. The typical job roles for AWS CSS might include a senior solutions architect, software development engineer, system development engineer, cloud architect, or a cloud consultant. The exam is going to be of $300 consisting of 65 MCQs or multi-response questions. Duration will be 170 minutes and the validity of the certification is again 2 years. If we already have the certificate, if we wish to learn more or grow more, we can move towards CCSP. So the Certified Cloud Security Professional. This exam imparts advanced technical skills and knowledge to design, manage, and secure data, applications, and infrastructure in the cloud using best practices, policies, and procedures established by the cybersecurity experts at ISC Square. Certified Cloud Security Professional (CCSP) exam is a globally recognized and proven way to build career and better secure critical assets in the cloud. Now, typical job roles for CCSP might include enterprise architect, security administrator, systems engineer, security architect, security consultant, security engineer, security manager, system architect, and so on. The exam is going to cost about $599 with 125 questions on the table with given about 180 minutes, and the validity for this certificate is 3 years. So the candidate must have a minimum of 5 years cumulative paid work experience in information technology, of which 3 years must be in the information security and 1 year in one or more of the 6 domains of the CCSP CBK. Next, we have the GIAC ICS 612. So the ICS 612 is an in-classroom lab setup that moves students through a variety of exercises that demonstrate how an adversary can attack a poorly architected ICS and how defenders can secure and manage the environment. Representative of a real ICS environment, the classroom setup includes a connection to the enterprise, allowing for data transfer, remote access, and other typical corporate functions. The ICS Cybersecurity in-depth course will help us learn active and passive methods to safely gather information about the ICS environment, identify vulnerabilities in ICS environments, determine how attackers can maliciously interrupt and control processes and how to build defenses, implement proactive measures to prevent, detect, slow down or stop attacks, understand ICS operations and what normal looks like, build choke points into an architecture and determine how they can be used to detect and respond to security incidents. And lastly, manage complex ICS environments and develop the capability to detect and respond to ICS security events. Now, this course is going to cost us about $9,000, which is a 5-day event. Now, the ICS 612 is an advanced course that focuses on the engineering, implementation, and support of a secure control system environment. Students taking this course should have completed the ICS 410 or should have a strong understanding of the objectives taught in that course. The course also builds upon the skills learned in the ICS 515 and ICS 612. Students should have working knowledge of network security monitoring and data collection techniques. Now let's move on to the next domain which we can look at, which is security and risk management. So we can start with Security Plus. The CompTIA Security Plus is the first security certification a candidate should earn. It establishes the core knowledge required of any cybersecurity role and provides a springboard to intermediate level cybersecurity jobs. Security Plus incorporates best practices in hands-on troubleshooting, ensuring candidates have practical security problem-solving skills required to assess the security posture of an enterprise environment and recommend and implement appropriate security solutions, monitor and secure hybrid environments including cloud, mobile, and IoT, operate with an awareness of applicable laws and policies including principle of governance, risk, and compliance. Lastly, identify, analyze, and respond to security events and incidents. Now, the job roles for a Security Plus certification might include Security Administrator, Security Manager or Analyst, IT Auditors, IT Project Managers, and Network Cloud Engineers. The exam will be costing about $392, with the exam bearing 90 questions which are to be solved in 90 minutes. The validity of the certification is 3 years. There are no official prerequisites required to take this exam. However, the candidates are recommended to have CompTIA Network Plus and 2 years of experience in IT administration with security focus. Next, we can move on to GSEC. So the GIAC, that is the organization here, Security Essentials, that is GSEC, certification validates a practitioner's knowledge of information security beyond simple terminology and concepts. GSEC certification holders are demonstrating that they are qualified for hands-on IT system roles with respect of security tasks. It covers various topics including defense in depth, access control and password management, cryptography, including basic concepts, algorithms and deployment and application, cloud, that is AWS fundamentals, Microsoft Cloud, then defensible network architecture, networking and protocols and network security, incident handling and response, data loss prevention, mobile device security, vulnerability scanning and penetration testing, Linux, that is fundamentals, hardening and securing, SIEM, so we have critical controls and exploit mitigation, web communication security, virtualization and cloud security, and endpoint security, Windows, so we'll be looking at access controls, automation, auditing, forensics, security infrastructure, and services. This exam costs about $949 with about 106 to all the way up to 180 questions possibly in the exam. The duration of the exam is going to be 4 to 5 hours and the validity for this certification is 4 years. There are no prerequisites to take this GIAC Security Essential certification. Any professional seeking to hone his or her knowledge about information security can enroll for this training. Next, we can move on to CASP Plus. So the CASP Plus is an advanced level cybersecurity certification covering technical skills in security architecture and senior security engineering in traditional, cloud, and hybrid environments, governance, risk, and compliance skills, assessing an enterprise's cybersecurity readiness, and to leading technical teams to implement enterprise-wide cybersecurity solutions. Successful candidates will have the knowledge required to architect, engineer, integrate, and implement secure solutions across complex environments to support a resilient enterprise, use monitoring, detection, incident response, and automation to proactively support ongoing security operations in an enterprise environment, apply security practices to cloud, on-premises, endpoint, and mobile infrastructure while considering cryptographic technologies and techniques, consider the impact of governance, risk, and compliance requirements throughout the enterprise. This exam will be costing about $494. Exam will be consisting of 90 questions with 165 minutes to solve them. Job roles we can expect from this certification could be security architect, SOC manager, senior security engineer, or a security analyst. The prerequisites for this one are a minimum of 10 years of general hands-on IT experience with at least 5 years of broad hands-on security experience. Next, we can move on to CISSP. The Certified Information Systems Security Professional, or the CISSP, is the most globally recognized certification in the information security market. This certification validates an information security professional's deep technical and managerial knowledge and experience to effectively design, engineer, and manage the overall security posture of an organization. The broad spectrum of topics included in the CISSP, Common Body of Knowledge, that is CBK, ensure its relevancy across all disciplines in the field of information security. Successful candidates are competent in the following 8 domains, which include security and risk management, asset security, security architecture and engineering, communication and network security, identity and access management, that is IAM, security assessment and testing, security operations, software development, security. The exam is going to cost about $749 and it will be consisting of 125 to 175 questions which will have to be solved in 4 hours. The location of this is ISC Square authorized PPC and PVTC Select Pearson VUE testing centers. Now, prerequisites include candidates must have a minimum of 5 years cumulative paid work experience in 2 or more of the 8 domains of the CISSP CBK. Earning a 4-year college degree or regional equivalent or an additional credential from the ISC Square approved list will satisfy 1 year of the required experience. Education credit will only satisfy 1 year of experience. A candidate that doesn't have the required experience to become a CISSP may become an associate of ISC Square by successfully passing the CISSP examination. The associate of ISC Square will then have 6 years to earn the 5 years required experience. Lastly, we can move on to CISM. So the Certified Information Security Manager, that is CISM certification, indicates expertise in information security governance, program development and management, incident management and risk management. The ISA CA's Certified Information Security Manager is for those with technical expertise and experience in IS or IT, security and control, and wants to make the move from team player to manager. CISM can add credibility and confidence to your interactions with internal and external stakeholders, peers, and regulators. The CISM certification is an audit professional certification sponsored by the Information Systems Audit and Control Association, that is ISACA. A CISM certification is offered to professionals who prove their exceptional skill and judgment in IS audit, control, and security profession in the CISM exam. Candidates for the CISM certification must adhere to ISACA's Code of Professional Ethics and submit evidence of 5 years worth experience in the field of information security. Work experience must be gained within the 10-year period preceding the application's date for certification or within 5 years from the date of initially passing the exam. 3 of the 5 years of work experience must be gained performing the role of an information security manager. Typical job roles for a CISM security might include information security manager, CIO, information and risk compliance specialist. Prerequisites include you need to have at least 5 years of experience in information security within the decade before you apply for the certification, with 3 years of management experience in the 3 or more of the core areas we listed above, which ISACA refers to as job practice areas. Moving on to the next domain. In security assessment and testing, we can get the CISA, that is the Certified Information Systems Auditor, CISA. This certification validates your knowledge for information systems auditing, assurance, control, security, cybersecurity, and governance. Offered by the Information Systems Audit and Control Association, that is ISACA, the credential is designed for IT and IS auditors tasked with evaluating an organization's information system to identify issues and potential security threats. This globally recognized certification is one of the few certifications specially designed for IT auditors. According to the ISACA, the certification is also beneficial for compliance analysts, program managers, risk analysts, data protection managers, security officers, and IT consultants. To maintain your CISA certification, you need to earn a minimum of 20 hours of professional education credits per year and 120 hours every 3 years. You'll also need to pay the annual maintenance fee of $45 for ISACA member or $85 for non-members. There's also the chance you'll need to comply with the annual CPE audit if you are selected, and you will also be expected to comply with the ISACA's Code of Professional Ethics and abide by the ISACA's IT auditing standards. Prerequisites include to apply for the CISA exam, you'll need at least 5 years of professional experience auditing, controlling, or securing information systems within the past 10 years. You can also receive a waiver for up to 3 years of experience if you have the following. So if you have maximum of 1 year of IS experience or 1 year of non-IS auditing experience, or the equivalent of a 2-year or a 4-year degree, which can be substituted for 1 to 2 years of experience, or a master's degree in IS or IT from any accredited university which is equivalent to 1 year of experience. The exam costs about $760 It will be consisting of 150 questions with 4 hours to solve them. Moving on to the next domain. In security operations, we can start with CEH. So the EC Council is the owner and creator of the popular Certified Ethical Hacker, that is CEH credential, which is one of the most popular entry-level cybersecurity certifications. Ethical hackers are individuals hired by an organization to hack into networks using penetration testing techniques in order to discover and report back on security vulnerabilities that may be exploited by cybercriminals. These individuals who are referred to as white hat hackers. There are two options for professionals to meet the CEH certification requirements and achieve CEH exam eligibility. Firstly, you could attend official training at an approved training provider like InfoSec. There are no further CEH requirements if you complete an official training course, and there are no further steps in the application process. Or we can attempt the exam without any official training. To be considered for testing without attending training, candidates must be approved via the CEH application process. They must have at least 2 years of work experience in the information security domain. They need to fill out the eligibility application form and email it to them for approval and submit a $100 eligibility fee. Typical job roles for a CEH might include security analyst, computer forensic analyst, security specialist, penetration tester, security engineer, security code auditor, malware analyst, and a security consultant. The exam fees is about $1,199, and the number of questions on the exam will be 125 multiple choice questions, which are to be solved within 4 hours. The validity of this certificate is for 3 years, so you'll have to renew it after 3 years. After getting the CEH, if you want to grow further, we can go for OSCP. So this is provided by the Offensive Security. The Offensive Security Certified Professional, that is OSCP, process provides professionals with penetration testing or ethical hacking skills and sound concepts of their application abilities. To become certified, the candidate must complete the Offensive Security's penetration testing with Kali Linux course and subsequently pass a hands-on exam. Successful OSCP test takers will need to have a strong understanding of security principles and practice, as they will be running exploits and recognizing common attack vectors in an online penetration testing lab that enables them to research a network, identify vulnerabilities, and act as if they were attacking an organization's IT environment. Exam takers will need to apply various tools for penetration testing within the Kali Linux operating system and learn how to work with different kinds of exploits, all while documenting any vulnerabilities in the lab exercises. This can help you earn an extra 5 points in the exam. Test takers will be required to compose and submit a real-life pen test report of all the activities in the lab. This means that the candidate will not only have to prove technical abilities but also professional communication and proper documentation skills that are requirement for a majority of IT roles. Typical job roles will be like a cybersecurity analyst, information cybersecurity analyst, cybersecurity lead, or an application security architect, amongst others. Prerequisites include a solid understanding of TCP/IP networking, reasonable Windows and Linux administration experience, and familiarity with the basic Bash or Python scripting. The exam costs about $1,499. The duration of the exam is quite long. You have to give about 23 hours and 45 minutes to this, and the exam is conducted online. It is proctored with the webcam on and everything. And the validity of the certificate is lifetime. So this certification never expires. Once you get it, you never need to renew it. Moving on, if you want to go a step higher, you can go for OSEP. So Offensive Security Experienced Penetration Tester is the next step for penetration testers who have completed the OSCP. Topics covered include operating system and programming theory, client-side code execution with Office, client-side code execution with JavaScript, process injection and migration, introduction to antivirus evasion and advanced antivirus evasion, application whitelisting, bypassing network filters, Linux post-exploitation, kiosk breakouts, Windows credentials, Windows lateral movement, Linux lateral movement, Microsoft SQL attacks, Active Directory exploitation, combining the pieces, and finally the labs. So the exam is going to cost about $1,499 again. The duration of the exam is longer this time. It is 48 hours, and again it will be proctored online. Now prerequisites include solid ability in enumerating targets to identify the vulnerabilities, the ability to identify and exploit vulnerabilities like SQL injection, file inclusion, and local privilege escalation, a foundational understanding of Active Directory and knowledge of the basic AD attacks. Lastly, if we wanted to go a step above, we can go to OSWE. So this is Offensive Security's Web Expert. This focuses on white box web application pen test methods. The bulk of your time will be spent analyzing source code, decompiling Java, debugging DLLs, manipulating requests, and more, using tools like burpsuite, DNSpy, JDGUI, Visual Studio, and the trusty text editor. The course enables the candidate to perform a deep analysis on decompiled web app source code, identify logical vulnerabilities that many enterprise scanners are unable to detect, combine logical vulnerabilities to create a proof of concept on a web app, exploit vulnerabilities by chaining them into complex attacks. This certification is for experienced penetration testers who want to better understand white box web application pen testing, web application security specialists, or web professionals working with the code base and security infrastructure of a web application. Prerequisites include comfortable while reading and writing at least one coding language like Python, familiarity with Linux, ability to write simple Python, Perl, PHP, Bash scripts, experience with web proxies, and a general understanding of web app attack vectors, theory, and practice. The exam costs about $1,699. The duration of the exam is 48 hours and it is going to be online proctored. Again, this certification is valid for your lifetime, so once you get it, you can forever be called Offensive Security's web expert. So that's all for this video. I hope you have a better understanding of a certification roadmap now.